Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Rahul here, bringing you guys a fresh, clean slate new series here on the channel. And yes, I have UFC 4 Career Mode. Man, oh man, this is gonna be one heck of a ride. We're gonna go undefeated no matter how many times I hate EA. So, right before this game, this fight, in the beginning of this series, I actually started recording a lot of it, and there was one amateur fight that I didn't record, and it was basically like, you have no chance of basically, continuing, surviving. And then, so technically amateur stuff, these are amateur fights, and it's going to be a 49-minute video. When was the last time 49-minute video? It's been a while since I've done this kind of long content, but hey, you're going to get NHL content right before this, so it's going to be very interesting. So it's been a while since I did hour-long videos and those kind of stuff. So if you guys do enjoy this UFC career, please be sure to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Also, I am in the featherweight division for this. I could have picked any other division, but I will actually be considering doing other divisions, so I might do multiple career modes throughout UFC 4, bringing in multiple championships, those things. And I actually had to learn, this is going to be crazy. So I'll explain mixed martial arts, and when I played the game so much by now that it's pretty crazy by the time you're watching this. Basically, some of the controls are really different, so to say. So, X and Y are like punches, A and B are kicks. The left bumper and the right bumper modify it. If you're playing on Xbox. Just to clarify. Right trigger or left trigger means like body shots and those things. And depending on your stance, you have to, do your thing. So, and depending on what type of guy you are, you could be a boxer, a Muay Thai fighter, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, a wrestler, a balance, so like an overall dude. So, yeah, it really depends, and you also have to do like combinations, which really sucks because it's like if you're orthodox or southpaw, it's like you have to click. For me, I'm orthodox, which I should be southpaw, but I've never done a sparring session, so I picked orthodox. I may try southpaw, so for this combination, it's like X, and then you press Y and B at the same time, which is actually one of those things where, if you have seen me play Madden, NHL, NBA 2K, you know that I don't really do that kind of stuff. There's no like button combinations and those things. Well, technically there is, but it's like if you have to do a kind of a certain move. In this, it's like because there's so many different martial arts in one game, you have to do button combinations to fight, which is the really good part, I should say. So there are 4 amateur fights that you have to get to to the Dana White Contender Series. And here's the sparring session. And blocking is one of them. Now, you might be thinking, well, blocking in EA Sports UFC, this is the first UFC game I'm ever playing out of EA Sports. In terms of what I'm going to be saying, there's different kinds of blocks. One is like a high block where you block like what's like targeting like any of your face area. Low blocks are like to your stomach, and leg blocks, you could guess it, to your leg. Now you can also swerve your like body with the right analog stick. On Xbox, I assume it's the same thing for PlayStation. Bear in mind, the controllers, the control usage, stuff I'm saying, it's for Xbox, not PlayStation. So PlayStation users don't listen. I really stick to basics on to basic controls sometimes because I don't really get into complex stuff when it comes to video games, really. In this particular video game, but if I, let's say, want to do certain moves, I'm going to modify the punch or the kick and maybe do an uppercut or something. And it's quite cool because swaying and blocking, which I never... I was really getting pissed off when I wasn't even trying this. I was doing kicks. Seriously, like, it was really annoying me. Let me emphasize that. So, there's gonna be a new series. This is gonna be a new series. The thing is, there's like a lot of, this is where I got pissed. I ended up like just fighting to do like in the clinch or stuff like that. And bear in mind, I actually had low stamina, and yeah, that's what I hated doing so much because I hated that so much. So, and it's really hard. It's just like very hard to like look at this whole series, like what I do and everything. So like basically this control is basically if you went down on a right analog stick and then hit X, that's how it worked. So another thing, I'm gonna have to preface this so that way you guys understand. I had 4 amateur fights. 4 amateur fights, okay? Basically, how it works is in the UFC kind of landscape in this game. Basically, you have your first, in quotations, amateur fight, where you're bound to lose, and if you last longer than that, that's a surprise. You're automatically losing anyway. Then you have 4 amateur fights: a boxing fight, a kickboxing fight, a wrestling fight, and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fight. Then you go to the Dana White Contender Series for a contract. If you earn that contract, you go down to the WFA from the WFA, you build up your name, and you go back to the Dana White Contender Series for a UFC contract, and that is where your UFC career begins. So I hope that I make that very clear for you guys. This portion of the video, this first episode, will be the amateur background without the first one because I was doing some other stuff. This stuff, like, I don't get. I actually got knocked down. I don't know how. And I actually got up, so. And I got knocked down again. See, this is what I mean. I'm such a novice in this. Because I didn't have the proper, you know, kind of work ethic, like, kind of, like, stuff to be, like, a good, like, kind of fighter in this game. So, this is why, like, in, like, between episodes and those things, I'm actually going to work on my work. I'm going to try, in practice mode, to try different moves and everything. Like, you also have to understand, like, in like, I mentioned this before, in the UFC, in this video game, there are very different, like, button combinations you're supposed to have. Like, I could list a bunch of them, and also, on top of that, there are different moves, depending on who you are, and at this point, I was very pissed, really. Like, we were both getting at it. It was not fun at all. Look, like, I was losing pretty badly. But I won. So, here we are with the first amateur fight. It was against a boxer. So, basically, I did retakes of them. Yes, I did. And also, like, I wanted to, like, try and do ground and pound as well because that should, like, let me explain. So, in the previous, like, stuff that I was doing, in the previous retries, because I wanted to get a clean record, basically, what was happening was, I was doing the boxing kind of thing, but I then realized that if you hit left trigger and the X button, that goes into the wrestling background, so, in the wrestling kind of thing. So, basically, I did this. I did a bunch of ground and pound, so that way, I actually had a legit chance, you know? Like, I could actually box. And boxers are not really good, like good boxers, let's put it that way, good wrestlers, unless they train hard enough and everything to be a good wrestler. That's a whole other story. Same vice versa, like, and also there's many different types of martial art, different martial arts that go into MMA, like an MMA fight, because if you remember back in the old days of the UFC, or when mixed martial arts was, like, starting to become a big thing in the US, they wanted to prove, like, which martial art is the best. So the UFC held tournaments and those things, but they were not regulated by an athletic commission. They were not. So they went with the New Jersey State Athletic Commission. And New York literally banned UFC until UFC 205, the event. And that UFC 205 was held at Madison Square Garden. So that's the first fight, amateur fight done. Now it's time for the second round, where I didn't know how to touch gloves, so, and also it's like you have to do left analog stick. No, left trigger, sorry. And you're supposed to basically like to put it in words, you're supposed to hold it, and the fighter will put out his hand, and the other fighter is supposed to do as well. Slowly, you're supposed to slowly move, but I don't think that will happen. And I didn't know how to do uppercuts. That was the issue. I didn't know how to do uppercuts, and the problem, and my attire, I am sorry, it looks generally awful. So that's what I am going to state for this. I will, at the end of this career, will actually show my record, show what accomplished I've done, and everything, when I feel like I've done it right. And basically, we'll start another career mode. Would I make my tie taller? Yeah, definitely. And basically, I didn't know like how to do ground and pound, but hey, I'm doing it correctly. Which actually fascinates me because I'm not a wrestler. This type of guy I used is a boxer, not a pro boxer, not a kickboxer, might I add, and so, and the key important thing is, when you look at the fights and everything, I did a lot of takedowns, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I was trying to submit, but I didn't know how to submit. That was the problem. So I was like, I might as well just ground and pound. And also, like, I might as well fight. So, that was the end of the second round, of the first amateur fight. And I'm doing pretty well against this guy, and I did not touch gloves. I did a kick right there. I did some kicks. That's what I'm gonna say. I did some kicks. And I guess this is what you have to look at. Like, this is a battle, so. Like, look, ground and pound, boom, 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 boom. I was, like, putting in that work. Like, this guy was actually getting affected. Boom, 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 boom. Like, I was putting in that, like, very hard. And his, like, head was getting, like, all messed up. And everything. was like really hard. I went in for another grounded pound. I got leveled up because I was actually doing it really well. And his face was more battered than I was, yet I was having more, you know, he was having more stamina than I was, which I kind of found it really awkward, to be honest. So that's my take, and basically we are actually going to go into the final, like, 2 minutes, and, like, yeah, so what I am going to say is, if you look at the boxing fight, you will know that I did really well. I actually did really well in this fight. So, like, look, even though I didn't know how to do uppercuts, I was doing really well. So, and I was doing, like, the clinch, I was doing the wrestling moves, which is, I didn't even realize, like, hey, like, I was doing all of this before I went into the Dana White Contenders series. Bear in mind, the Dana White Contenders series used to be called Dana White, something with a Tuesday. I didn't know what it was called, but basically the Dana White Contenders series is kind of like a feeder, kind of like a feeder league to the UFC. Like, you have guys like Bo Nickel, those dudes, and yeah, and yes, we got victory right there. It was a decision victory. Next up, this is the kickboxing fight. So, in this situation, this dude usually likes to do what? Kickboxing. So, as you can see, right here, this is kickboxing. So, I'm going to add something real quick. So, these are 3 5-minute rounds. I'm going to have to preface this. The amateur fights that I did in the UFC 4 are, in the video game, are 3 5-minute rounds. And like I said before, the first one was a boxing fight. The next fight, which is the current one, is kickboxing. The next fight, the third one, is wrestling. The fourth fight is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Then, like, you basically, yeah, that'll be all in the next episode, so don't you guys worry. So, I basically had to basically do boxing, and the problem was, I didn't really, yeah, that was the problem. In a kickboxing fight, right, you use your legs and you use your hands. So, like, I don't know how to explain this because this was really, really hard. And I was trying to block a lot. Like, I was trying to be honest. And look, I did the clinch, and if I did ground and pound, I knew it would, you know, work. Like, get some punches in, you know, that was the goal. And that is the goal. I hurt him a little bit right there. He hurt me a little bit right there. And the thing is that they don't. I don't know in a situation. Oh, I hurt him badly, and he got knocked down, and I went into a submission. But he got lucky because of the first round ending, and I got a knockdown based off of it, based off like that, like kick. So yeah, that's what I did. So I basically went back to doing like a bunch of like kicks and stuff like that. Basically doing whatever it takes, honestly, and I was basically beating him in his own game, to put it simply, and that's what made me proud, because that's what you're supposed to do. Like, when it comes to like mixed martial arts fights, I feel like you're supposed to beat them at their own games. For example, if they're a wrestler, you're supposed to make it a wrestling match, and other things as well. If it's a kickboxing, if it's a kickboxer, you do the kickboxing along with other things. If it's a boxing fight, you do boxing along with other things. And I hurt this dude, which is something worthy to say. And the issue is, it's like, if I trip, they never really come for me, and I think that dude, when that coloring happens, that means the guy is injured. And that's not a good thing, to say the least. And, I don't know if this guy's injured or anything, but, but I took him down. I did ground and pound, which was really good. I then scored a knockdown with my legs right there. I was just doing the modifications, and he got an injury. I went for a submission, which I did not understand why why I was gonna do that. Like, hey, well, why do you want to do like ground and pound? So then I was like, you know what? Let's get up, and I faked it, and I went in for the punches. And he got up. He had the courage to get up. But he got injured twice in that fight. So, and now he's blocking it. And I believe I got injured. I don't know, but I got some good leg kicks towards the second round. So, as you... that almost like showed the replay, but I wanted to show like what actually happened, so here it is. So basically, right, this happened, so bye. Yeah. So as you see right here, I'm just trying to get a rhythm going for the final round. For some odd reason, it's showing color on my end. I don't know what that means. I started, doing my kind of thing. Like, my punches and those things, and I made sure, like, I was, like, doing it. I was doing it because I don't know. I don't know what to say because this dude was a kickboxer. And he was like doing uppercuts and those things. And I had low stamina at this point, so it would be like a miracle. And like if I won, and the issue was, he was more bloodied up. And it was showing blue on my end. So basically, I was trying to, like, do whatever I could, and he was doing whatever he could to win the fight, and another blue, like, another coloring, and on my end, the blue side, let's put it that way. And, well, he knocked me down, but he didn't rush in, which I was like, you know what? Let's just put this to the ground. I got him one punch. That's the weird part. And he actually got up. And I felt a little bit uneasy. So I won the boxing match. I won the kickboxing match. You know what time it is? It's time for the MMA match. So, I mean wrestling. So, this dude obviously is really good at wrestling. No doubt in my mind. So, obviously, you're going to expect some kind of different things with this kind of fight. Like, for example, like that, you have to be able to get out of the wrestling kind of thing. You have to make sure, like, it works, and I didn't understand, like, the escape part because, as you can see, I was really bad at it. And also, I wanted to obviously, like, stand up and fight because, let's say if I went up against a wrestler, you know, it would not be a good thing for me. So, I was like, you know what? Let's just fight it at your own game, basically, and make sure that you know that you do it at your own time. Like, make sure you do it at your own, we do it at your own game, basically. Like, if we're gonna wrestle, like I don't want to personally do wrestling in this fight, but if we're gonna do wrestling, we're gonna do it. You know, if that's what we're gonna have to do, then that's what we're gonna have to do. So, that's what I'm gonna basically state right there. I was doing really well, like landing a bunch of kicks, punches, as you see, right there. But, like, I will not tolerate it. I will absolutely not tolerate that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Because if you're gonna wrestle me, we're gonna try and do something else, because I have other things to do. other than being such an idiot, a douchebag. I have no time for that. I have no time for that. And look, I landed a right kick right there. That was good. And I don't care what it is. You guys would relate, and I hit this, but I hit the resume button, but I don't know why I did. It's very, to put it simply, oh my god, okay. It's just a lot of fun. So as you see right here, I am basically kicking, doing everything. If you can tell by my voice, this is a few days after I'm recording. Yes, audio recording, yes, I am severely depressed. Don't want to talk about that. Anyway, so apparently I was trying to do a submission attempt right here, but I didn't know how to do submissions at that point. So yeah, and the number one thing I do want to state is that this has been a journey of doing everything. So basically, oh god, as you could tell by the looks of things, I am going up against a wrestler, obviously, and I'm doing kickboxing moves, which is unorthodox, and I stunned him a little bit, cause that's how it's supposed to be. I've just, as you see, I didn't know much about the kickboxing, boxing kind of thing. Well, as you saw in my first two fights, I did know. But in these fights, this one, I didn't really know. And I think the guy got injured, my opponent, and I was wearing, a blue attire, which I did not really understand. And you can see the names on the top left of your screen. Whoever my opponent is, by the way. And that was the end of the second round. So, what I'm basically gonna explain is, basically, we'll be doing this here. I have other episodes recorded and everything, but I will be releasing them in certain fashions, I guess you can put it, because I really appreciate this series and will appreciate it, sorry. And that's the main point of it, and I want to do well for the future. God, excuse me. I want to make sure that excuse me. I want to make sure that it does well. As you see right here on your screen, I'm like having low stamina, and that guy just gave me a big uppercut. Excuse me. And oh my god, allergies, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, okay. Oh god, as you see right here. I am sneezing so much on camera. So, I'm just doing a bunch of wrestling moves at this point. Basically, doing a lot of it, and that's the end of the fight. And Dana White is there, which is pretty good, say at least. And I won that fight, by the way, so that's pretty awesome to say the least. Oh my god, excuse me. This fight, I'm going up against a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist. Oh my god. Y'all are gonna make fun of me right now for this part of the video. For basically like sneezing a lot. So now this fight is against a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist. And basically as you can tell, I'm trying to do like kicks and all that kind of stuff to make sure that I know what I'm doing is okay. Like what is right for myself. Oh. Excuse me, and I stunned the person. Which was really good in my part, cause I was doing a lot of like leg kicks to kind of, you know, do my thing, and like that's what I wanted to do, but I was having really low stamina at that point, and we just got up, and I did a ground and pound, so that way, you know, that's what happened. I learned how to escape from this, And I got lucky where I just did that, and I basically did like ground and pound. And also I was saved by the round and everything, so that was another key contributing factor into that, so yeah, that's what like I had going. And like that's just how it was. So yeah, basically right there I stunned the guy, and that's just how it happened basically. And we're on the ground right now. We're in the second round, obviously. So that's how it happened, and yeah, basically, you know how it is. We just have to make sure we do our stuff correctly. And we did it just that, and by doing a leg kick. And so I felt like when we do leg kicks, you know, that's where it hurts him. And that's how we're like doing the fight and everything. So, yeah. And, that's how, like, we're doing it. And this dude is like I said, he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Excuse me. He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist. It's just. Oh my god. Excuse me. Oh my god. He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist. And this dude has been knocked out in the second round. And we got ourselves to the top of a Dana White Contender Series match. And we went 4-0 in that span. So I want to say that's awesome. That's fantastic. So yeah, alright, so thank you all. So as you are gonna see right here, we did actually get the fight. So that's the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Y'all are Legends by Book, as well as for me. I will see you on the next one, and peace.